Australia is not what you think.
Yeah.
Australia is wild. Cockatoos and some big colorful parrots flying around. You don't need money to live in Australia.
Remember to slip, slap and slap.
Slip,
Put in.
slap and slap. The most important question, guys, would I stay here? G'day mates! It's been almost 2 months for me here down under. My name's Ellie. I come from Russia, a country that is very different from here. I mean, no bears, no snow here. Guys, in this video I would like to share my culture shocks about Australia as a Russian, what things I like, what things I don't like, how people treat me here, and whether I would like to stay in Australia and move here for good. Stay here, friends, and listen carefully. It's gonna be interesting video. My culture shock numero uno. Let's start with the symbol of Australia, this one. Kangaroos. When you go to Australia, you imagine that kangaroos are jumping there like everywhere. That's not the case, mates. Maybe in some Aussie countryside, yes, but if you go to main cities of Australia, you're not gonna see alive kangaroos, because all you're gonna see is dead kangaroos or stuff and products made of kangaroos. Kangaroo burgers, sausages in supermarkets, kangaroo meat fed to lions in a zoo. This was just... I couldn't believe that was happening. Then kangaroo souvenirs. My second day in Australia, I saw all the parts of kangaroo, including this, but I haven't seen any normal kangaroo.
You've seen lots
Australia is not what you think.
Yeah, lots of pieces of dead ones.
And this souvenir,
Or a kangaroo,
you can guess what this
or a
is.
kangaroo hand puppet.
Like, why do you do this? Okay, here what it is.
Genuine kangaroo ball sack. If you're itchy, if you want to pick your nose, or you scratch your ears,
Shall we continue?
genuine kangaroo skin. Full skin. Maybe some kangaroo moccasins.
Can you also find it in like cafes or restaurants?
Yeah, there's some places that do like.
But is it considered like a delicacy or something
it's trash.
totally...
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
it's cheap. It's cheaper than beef.
How often do people eat it? Is it like chicken, something very common?
I think the only people that really eat it are gym rats because it's so lean.
And the taste, what is it similar to?
Just any sort of wild meat.
Australia is not what you think, mates! Another culture shock is about how people live here and city landscapes. When I flew to Australia, I imagined its cities with huge, like tall skyscrapers, metropolis, because Australia is such a developed country, so I imagined lots of skyscrapers and everything you associate big cities with. But Australia is mostly made of private houses. Even in big cities like Sydney or Melbourne, mostly there are 1-story, 2-story houses, all the private houses, and only the downtown are these skyscrapers. So all the Australia is about green cities with private houses, and I feel like here they managed to find and make the perfect mix of urbanization and nature with wildlife. Here, I think you can't get depressed because of the concrete jungle. Here, even though you are in a big city, you still feel this wildlife. There are buildings and cars, but still you feel like you are in a forest with cockatoos and some big colorful parrots flying around. You're standing on a bus stop in a city center, and there is some huge parrot sits over there on the bus stop. It feels very unusual to be surrounded by all these wild animals and all these green spaces everywhere. Aussies, mates, Do you even know? Do you even know how lucky you are to live in cities like this? They are amazing. I've never seen such mix of urbanization and nature. It's so great. And I think that I would stay in Sydney. Yeah, I love this city. If it wasn't for the rent costs. I'm quite an experienced traveler by now. By now I've lived in all parts of the world except Latin America and traveled a lot. But I think Australia is the most expensive trip of mine and I've never seen such rent costs. Let me just show you some prices for hotels and Airbnbs in Sydney. Of course, Sydney is the most expensive city of Australia, but I also was in Canberra, Brisbane, now in Melbourne, and I wouldn't say that it's like too different. So here are some prices for Sydney. So the cheapest hostel that you can find in a room for 8 people in Sydney is $35. Then a capsule hotel is $44. Like, I'm not gonna pay $44 for staying in a capsule. Oh, there is a free towel rental though. Okay, that explains the price, I guess. Then for one night for a room in Airbnb, it's $60. But if you don't want to rent a room and you want the entire place for yourself, the cheapest is $110 in a hotel. And if you want a whole place for yourself but an apartment at Airbnb, it's $149. $1,000 for 1 week. Yeah, and I don't even know about utility bills in Australia, but a cool fact is that if you have a solar panel, you can have positive utility bills and not negative. So the government is gonna pay you when you have some energy left and it's gonna go somewhere else and not only your house. So if you set up this solar panel, you can get positive utility bills and get paid by the government. But it's very expensive to set up these panels in the first place. But even though it's so painfully expensive in Australia, here you can get lots of free stuff. Yeah, in Australia people put things that they don't need anymore in a street and anyone can take it for free. Stuart is my Airbnb host in Melbourne and he was just telling me that half of his house is for free.
Half of the contents are for free because you can get them, people put them on the street and I just collect them and then sometimes I upgrade. I might have a couch and then there's a better one on the street, so I sell the old one, I get the new one. So, and then many things you get for free, like people buy bicycles and they put them in the backyard, they get rusty and dusty and I just fix them up and sell them.
Can you show what here is for free?
Sure, okay. The stereo was free. The 2 couches, this couch and this couch was free.
Couches, both?
Yeah, both these couches were free. Speakers were free. Table was free. This table's free. The TV only $10. Sony TV. Oven was free. Just needed to fix the fan on it. Dishwasher was free. I just needed to do a little bit of work cleaning it up. Kettle was free. Kettle was only $10. This was free as well. The chair. I got it from used to be a radio commentator. John Fain used to own that. The chairs on the front veranda were free.
But you don't need money to live in Australia. Everything is free.
No, yeah, well, you can get a lot for free because people throw it out, like they're too rich or they just couldn't be bothered selling it. So I just grab it, put it in the back of my car and sell it on Facebook. And make a bit of money. It's just like pocket money, really. You can't live on it, but it subsidizes a couple $100 a week. That's great. So that just covers all my expenses, gas, electricity, water, food. And then when I have an income, it all I save it all. Even the bed you're sleeping in was free.
What shocked me is that people don't sell this stuff. Washing machine, nice couches, like some expensive stuff. I can't imagine people in Russia to put it and not to sell it, not to make at least some money. Well, yeah, I mean, in Russia people wouldn't be able to do that anyway. Imagine putting some stuff in a street in Russia. It would just be frozen. Another thing that surprised me is about traveling in Australia by airplane or a bus. You never need your ID, like never. In Russia, I can't board a train or airplane if I don't have my passport with me, but here you don't need any ID when you buy a ticket or when you are at the airport. How is this possible? Like, I could write any name there, like Boris Tkachov. I could be Boris Tkachov. They wouldn't check my ID anyways. Okay, I'm confused. No, I'm shocked. It's my third domestic flight in Australia, and when I bought this ticket, they only asked for a full name, email, and phone. And when I checked in, they didn't ask for passport or any ID either. So you travel in Australia without any ID. Wow. By the way, being from such a remote part of the world here in Australia, I don't feel like my appearance is different from people here. And never and nowhere I saw so many redheads. On my flight from Canberra to Melbourne, there were 3 redhead people with me in one seat, like together. That never happened to me. And overall in Australia there are so many redhead people. I've never seen so many. And I guess that's because Australia is a country of immigrants and many people come here from the UK, Ireland and some other places where there is high concentration of red people. But yeah, for me personally this was very unusual to have so many redhead people around me. Okay, I've been telling you about the best things about Australia, how cool it is and how lucky people are to live here. But we live in a real world, my friends. So there are some things that balance out this paradise. And let's open the wardrobe and find the cockroaches. Do people say that in English or only in Russian? Yeah, so let's find the cockroaches, the disadvantages. And you probably know what this disadvantage is. Australia is home to one of the most dangerous and poisonous creatures for humans, like crocodiles, sharks, jellyfish, spiders, snakes. When I was in Canberra, I was attacked by a magpie, which is a bird. I was attacked by a bird. I was really shocked. I didn't expect that. And also when I was in Canberra, I almost stepped on the second most poisonous snake in the world. I was just walking by the road and just watching around, didn't see anything. And a girl that was walking towards me says, "Stop. Go to the right side of the road." And I look at her like, what? What's going on? And she's like, "There is a snake, move." And I just, like, I could step on a venomous snake. Australia is wild. Now I'm gonna always watch my step. Oh my god, I wouldn't see it if you didn't tell me. Is it like very venomous?
It's like the most venomous snake.
Yes. Other than that, Canberra is great. Recommend to visit, but to tell the truth, in cities you wouldn't meet all these dangerous animals and they wouldn't attack you unless you are the first to harass them or to get too close and if they feel danger from you. Fact. There have been no deaths in Australia from a confirmed spider bite since 1979. An effective anti-venom of redback spiders was introduced in 1956 and one for funnel web spiders in 1980. So there are anti-venom. Now people don't die from a spider bite. See the statistics? It's zero death. Well, almost 12,000 people were hospitalized too. Another thing that I hate is that everything closes so early. Like 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Shops, cafes, restaurants, shopping mall close super early. 2 p.m. and they're closing. Why everything closes so early?
I think people just have lunch at 1 o'clock, at 12, and then they go back to the office. So there's no point leaving it open.
What if I want to eat at 3 p.m.?
Too bad.
Too bad. I was told that because people here have very high wages, companies and businesses can't afford people to work for a very long hours, and also they might start at 5 a.m. like cafes, so they work for 8 hours and close. And coming from Moscow, where everything is open like till 11 p.m. and you can find anything 24/7, this was so weird for me. I was like, but if you finish to work at 5, you already can't go to a shopping mall. And an Aussie girl told me that in order to go shopping, she takes a day off. No, I couldn't understand this. Another drawback of staying here is that you can get a skin cancer. The sun here is so extra damaging. Children are even not allowed to get outside to play if they don't wear a hat in school. And so many people here have skin cancer. So actually, I never thought about this, but what surprised me is that I thought that if you live in Australia, you are already used to the sun and you don't need to put the sunscreen all the time. But it is the rule here. You can't be outside for long hours without sunscreen. I don't know how people do that. It's so difficult to live with the sun like this. Can you say again about the cancer?
Because the sun is so, like, we have the ozone hole, and then the sun is very hot, and almost every day the UV index is like super high. So a lot of people don't wear sunscreen every day, and like you can still get burnt even if there's clouds. So like most adults have skin cancer or they've had skin cancer removed.
I thought that people who live here, Aussies, they're used to the sun, so they don't need sunscreen.
No, not really. I mean, we are really just white people in a land that's not ours.
Yeah. So like
As
many
long as you
people
live
have
here.
cancer.
Most people, like older people, most of them have had some kind of like mole removed for skin cancer. It's a kind of a hazard of living here because like you can just step outside and it could be a cloudy day and you can still get sunburned. So remember to slip, slop and slap.
Slip,
Put in.
slop and slap.
Exactly. You got
Which
it.
means to put sunscreen. I have less viewers now, but I hope some of you still watching. And the most important question, guys, would I stay here? Yes, 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 and yes. Australia is such an amazing place. First of all, I already told you I love the mix of urbanization, of getting perks of living in a big city at the same time being in this wildlife. People are super smiling and nice, and from what I hear and from what I've experienced, there is much less bureaucracy here than in Europe, and just lifestyle is relaxed and things are easy here. You can enjoy life here, and if it wasn't for two factors, I would never leave. The first one, I think I can't live without change of seasons. I need this yellow, orange, red, autumn. I need winter. My favorite time is winter. And even though you have the ocean here and I went diving in the Great Barrier Reef, it was amazing, but still I would prefer a frozen lake and ice skating there and calm winter. I just can't live without winter, I guess. And the second factor is that Australia is just too far from everything. First of all, from my family and my homeland. Secondly, like from everything. It's just takes too long to travel here, and if you want to travel the world, no, Australia is not a good point to start your travels. But was it worth to fly 20 hours to get here? Yes, I would say yes. I'm living with a feeling of a huge gratitude to this place, and for me that I finally did that. This was my dream for years, to see what life in Australia is like. And I'm feeling sad my Aussie journey is coming to an end. Bye guys! I can't even switch off my camera, like I'm so sad for this to finish. Yeah, I just can't turn off the video. It's my last video from Australia. Bye mates! Wait, no, I changed my mind. I shouldn't have finished the video like this. Maybe that's not the end. Maybe one day I will be back. So, see you soon, mates!